When it comes to us lifting up our community, how did you guys go about that? And was there a certain strategy? Also, when it comes to what was the other question? Oh yes. Also, how would we be able to branch out to our African brothers and sisters? How
On
would
the, you know, on the continent?
we,
Yeah, well, remember we had one good on that part. There were organizations then. Right now, things are so messed up on the continent. You know, the Nigerians and just sold out everything to Exxon, just about, right? But the people still living like dirt. But the oil fields are overtaken by the American. Then you have AFRICOM, you know, all of that. As to here in the United States, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. And since we're having this kind of conversation, and you guys are still hanging in here with me. When we started our breakfast program, for example, we said, all right, we need a place to have a breakfast program. We didn't have any place. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any place to even have a meeting, just about. We just meet over there. Was a place called the Black Congress in LA. And we had a room that they let every Black organization have. And they were like, they were probably getting a lot of government money to undo a lot of stuff. But barring that, we had an office there. And then eventually we got our own office deep in the hood. That was in the hood too. But so we would say, well, we got to get food for breakfast every day for children. And we would be like, well, where are we going to get the food from? We don't have any money. So we would go to the local store and say, we would like to get a dozen eggs from you every day. And they would say, I can't do that. We would say, well, how do you feel about having no store? And so that would really be how we did it, if you want to know the truth. People said we were extortionists. And we would say, one man's extortionist is another man's liberator. So be gone. So we had a church. We in LA, I can't tell you how hard no Black church wanted to have a Black Panther Party breakfast program. They were like, oh, no, I ain't got nothing to do with the Panther. Oh, no. You know, I said, oh, you acting like Peter did with Jesus. You don't know us, you know? So, all right. So we finally found a church in LA. This is a great vignette that exemplifies what I'm saying. That was a Seventh-day Adventist church. And we didn't know, but the guy said, you can use our church, you're welcome. We were like, oh my God, we're so thankful. He said, but you know, we don't eat meat, so you can't cook meat in here. And you don't eat meat. Now, you remember I'm talking about 1969. For Black people, breakfast is meat. As a matter of fact, breakfast is pork. It's pork chops, it's bacon, it's sausage, it's ham. You can't have no real hot breakfast without some pork. So we're thinking, what are we going to do? So I swear to God, we found this stuff, 1969, called veggie burgers. Now that may seem common to you today, but it was a big roll and it was like soybeans and beans. You know, it was really nasty. But anyway, when we cut it up and put it into patties, so it looked like it was a sausage patty, and we put a lot of onions and peppers and else, and we cooked it, and we tried to pretend that we had sausage, and the kids in the beginning, the children would be like, what is this? We said, it's meat, just eat it. You know, they were like, this is not meat. So how did we do it? Was cook or crook. We made a decision. When we were given an order by central headquarters, you better have a clinic open, and you got 1 month to open a clinic. Now tell me how we did it. I don't know. Took over a vacant building, cleaned it up. What you gonna do, slumlord? Come down here and say something? No. So we took over a building, and we cleaned it up. And then we got doctors, mostly white doctors, from UCLA who were interns and stuff, to give us 2 hours here, 2 hours there. After a while, we had an 8-hour-a-day clinic free to the people. It was clean. We got people trained, and it was a wonderful clinic. But what we did was we delivered something that people wanted by hook or crook. The one thing about the Black Panther Party that I love today, that I always tell people, is we made goals, we made decisions, and then we just said, we don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to get here. And that's how we did it. Same thing with the free breakfast. Same thing with everything else. You have to sell 400 newspapers. You don't know how to sell 400 newspapers? Well, you better get to stepping, because the day is moving on and you got 400 to sell. That's how we had a little bit of regular income. As we got bigger, we started businesses of our own. People were like, oh, the Black Panthers own a club. We did own a club, but that money went into, we spending so much money for our school that our school was free. So we began to develop economic ways of making money. Some of them were legal, whatever that means, and some of them were not so legal. But the bottom line was we were able to keep our agenda moving by making goals, by coming up with strategies, and each chapter did something maybe slightly different, but every chapter in the Black Panther Party, you better have a breakfast program. You can't sit up here and talk about you can't have a breakfast program. You gotta have one. Matter of fact, you need to have more than one, but you gotta have at least one. You gotta get your free clinic up and running, brother. We had New York chapter had a free ambulance service out of Harlem. Now, you know that wasn't easy because you know ambulances don't come to the hood. Call an ambulance and be in the hood and see if it comes to see about you. It's like the police not coming. So we adapted. North Carolina had something different chapters, different branches did different things. But in all, these are the things that we all agreed that everybody had to do, and everybody just figured out a way to do it. And without getting, a case, although we have had some strange things happen in the past. But so that, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what we did. We just had to make a decision to do something and then say, okay, how will we do it? We don't know. Can we get a contribution from people? Can we go and it's like I was telling you about the swimming pool question. All right, let's just say you want to start a program for kids, Black children, to learn how to swim, because our children do die in the large numbers from drowning. We have the largest deaths, Black children. So let's just say you wanted to do that, and there you have Campus X that's got a nice swimming pool. So you just make a decision. You go to the campus, you say, we'd like to use your swimming pool. They're going to say, no, you cannot use it. That's what they said. That's about food. They said, you cannot have it. We said, okay. So, and now you have to figure out some other stuff, but you don't want to get a case necessarily. And you do want to accomplish what you accomplish, right? So I'm so happy that you want to know what and how, because that's more important than that you do it. It's more important to talk about how can we do this? Do you have ideas? And I do. And I was hoping that somebody would pick these things up before I died. And people are doing different things, but they got to get a little more hard. They got to get a little stronger and a little tougher, and don't take too much shit from anybody.